At Boar's Head, we place a premium on authenticity, and the home-roasted flavor of our Ever-Roast chicken is no exception. Inspired by a medley of ingredients from the garden, a family recipe, and slow-roasted craft. It's the authentic taste of home and the unmatched quality of Boar's Head. Ever-Roast chicken, sliced fresh at the deli, only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. You are listening to Animal Chatter with Kellie and Leah. I'm Kellie. Our guest today is kind of after my own heart. My publishing company, Ibby Lane Press, is named after my cat. So when I found out that there's a pet services company named after a dog, well, we had to get her on the show. So it's Bitu's Pet Services. I'm going to slaughter your name, Shatal. I am sorry. I'm sorry in advance. Shatal, Vishari. Welcome to the show. I know Leah is here as well, and we're going to start off with Leah. So go ahead, Leah.
Yeah, hi, everyone. This is a very special show for me as well because I don't know if everybody knows, but people that know me know that dogs rock in my heart, and I'm completely devoted to the realm of dogs. One thing that did catch my interest and touched me, Shatal, on your website is a quote, and I just wanted to start with that. So I'm going to read that for everyone to hear. He is your friend, your partner, your defender, your dog. You are his life, his love, his leader. He will be yours, faithful and true to the last beat of his heart. You owe it to him to be worthy of such devotion. Now, isn't that truer words I've never read? To be worthy of that devotion is what I strive for every day. So I just wanted to share that and just to set the mindset of the whole show is how we are in service to these wonderful creatures that have been given to us. So Shatal, welcome. B2's Pet Services, welcome, and let's take it away.
Well, thank you so much, Leah. Thank you so much, Kellie, for having me on the show. It is an honor to speak with pet lovers like yourselves, and hoping to be of any help to any of your listeners whose dogs may be able to use any of the services that we offer.
Wonderful. Now you're situated in. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Leah. I wanted to ask and can follow up after you answer what Leah was going to ask you. I want to know what it was that drew you to pet sitting, because I've also owned a pet sitting service, and it's awesome. It's a lot of work, but it's wonderful. But what drew you to that?
I started off, my background is a project manager, believe it or not. And, I was in the corporate world, and B2's my little one. She's a cockapoo. And I would spend long hours at work, so did my husband. And we just felt so guilty about not being able to give her the time that your little ones really need. Every time you come home, they just wait for you, and yet they're just so happy, whatever time they have with you. And it would just bother me so much that, isn't there anything else that we could do so that we are not spending all that time away from home? And as it happened, I had a life-threatening incident where I was hospitalized, and at that moment, I just realized that there are no guarantees in life, and when you start procrastinating living your life, you never know whether you are going to get that second day. And I said, that's it. I do not know if I am going to live another day. So if there is something I really need to do, I need to do it now. And I just got my training, and B2 would go for grooming, and it would just break my heart to see when she comes back. She would seem that she would be traumatized, and she wouldn't be happy. And when you go to a spa, you want to come back all relaxed, and you wanna feel rejuvenated. And I could never see that in her, and no matter where I brought her. And that got me thinking, and ever since I was a kid, I wanted to work with animals. I did work quite a bit of work with animals in terms of rescue, not just dogs, but cats, birds, you name it. And I went and got my training into pet grooming and styling. I got an opportunity to work with some of the best professionals in North America, and I just launched B2's Pet Services. My husband was great in supporting me through all of this, and we got B2's Pet Services started, and we've never ever looked back. My husband joined me after that, and then again, when you start working with hundreds and thousands of dogs on a monthly basis, you see them come in different shapes, sizes, different conditions. You get to know each one of them. You get to study each one of them. And what I found common in all of these dogs that would come to us is that there was lack of exercise, there was lack of fitness, and majority of these dogs, we would just see them, we would just see their health go down the drain over a period of time, over a course of time. And it just, got me thinking that diet and exercise are the two key components of a healthy and a happy life for us. And it goes the same way for our pets. And what better way to exercise than in water? Personally, my favorite form of exercise is swimming, and so is my husband's. And we always wanted to. B2 loves swimming. Any time we went to a lake, she would love the water. And we would try and look for a place where I could actually bring her swimming, because if the weather wasn't great in summer, if it was too hot, I didn't want to walk her. If it was raining, she didn't want to go out. If it was too cold, she's too small to go out there. And with all the salt on the pavements, it wasn't that great for her paws too. So I could never find a place where I could bring her swimming and get that energy out. She's a very active dog. She's 13 right now, and it just hit me that there has to be something. If I feel the same way about my dog, there are so many people out there who find themselves helpless, especially when their dogs are suffering from any of the injuries, or they're recovering from surgeries, and there is no place where they could bring their little puppy to get that exercise, and yet be in a safe environment where they are not experiencing any kind of impact. And hence started our journey of getting training in canine aqua fitness and hydrotherapy. And my husband and I both, we went and trained under professionals. We were lucky to have trained with pioneers of canine hydrotherapy in North America. We had a chance of working with these professionals and seeing a whole different world of pet owners out there who were responsible, informed owners. So it was a very different experience than working with people who brought their dogs in for grooming and working with these people who brought their dogs swimming for various number of reasons. And I must say that we have been so humbled just working with this entire group of people in not just in Canada but in the U.S. as well, who so absolutely and hopelessly love their babies like we do B2. So it took us about 4 years to put our pool in our facility, going through the technicalities of it and finding someone who would actually do it for us. Believe it or not, a lot of people would laugh at us when we would talk to them about putting a pool in for dogs. And it took us 4 years to get our facility set up. And last year, July 17th, on B2's birthday, we launched Canine Aqua Fitness by B2's Pet Services. And we haven't looked back since then.
Wonderful.
That's such a cool idea.
I love it. I really love it.
It is.
And the people that laugh, they don't matter. We don't care about them. They just don't know. They simply don't get it.
No, in fact, it just made it just motivated us and strengthened our determination to go ahead and do this. Mm-hmm. And every single day we work with hundreds of dogs that come in for any number of reasons, starting from pure fun and fitness to therapy and rehab, and just seeing how water helps them, and the fact that we have played a little part in helping these dogs. It's I cannot explain. It is such a humbling experience. Mm-hmm. These dogs, they keep us grounded. They just make you, they just give you a purpose in life. What true humanity means.
Right. I think they make us better humans. They inherently hold us up to a higher standard that we have to be a better human being in order to, like I said, be worthy. Kellie, you were going to say that you're in love with the concept of it, and it's a unique concept.
Right. It's like a spa day for dogs. I have a horrible echo here. So I'm trying to get in a better spot so that you don't hear the horrible echo. I think I just turned around and faced the opposite direction, and the echo is gone. Isn't that interesting?
It's gone. It's gone now. I love that you're a husband and wife team. I'm always looking to support husband and wife teams. That's phenomenal. That your husband, was he in the corporate world as well before he came to work with you?
He was with the region of Peel.
Okay.
And he was actually a truck driver.
Okay. And he never looked back. So this is just it's wonderful.
He's never looked back.
Excellent, excellent. Can you tell us a little bit about your facilities? So I'm imagining that on top of the physical well-being of a dog, being able to swim and they're calm, they know they're in a safe place. So there's, the mental and the emotional kind of spiritual components of the dog that are nurtured
Absolutely.
as well. How are we able to understand how the water is good for the dog? I know that it's a non-chlorine environment, it's a non-salt environment. So what makes this a safe environment for these dogs to be in, aside from the actual physical activity and the contact with you and your husband?
So we have worked with professionals in the pool industry to come up with a proper balance of. So this is completely chlorine-free and salt-free, and yet at the same time we have to have a proper balance in the water itself, so that it's safe not just for the dogs going in, but it's also safe for us human beings going in the water. So water care for us is the topmost priority, and it takes us over 2.5-3 hours every single day once the dogs are gone to clean up after the dogs are gone. And the dogs come in on one-on-one basis. So these are, it's not a community pool. They come one at a time. We work on one dog at a time. But sometimes you will see some of our videos on Facebook where you see 2 dogs swimming at the same time, but they are from the same family, and they're used to going in the water at the same time. So we have to make sure that the pH balance of the water is such that it does not affect the dog's skin. It does not affect the human skin in the water. It is an indoor warm water pool. The temperature of the water is maintained at between 89 and 90 degrees throughout the year. So the water is always warm, comforting to the dog's muscles. It doesn't matter what time of the year. And it is, the facilities are since we work there, we have to make sure the facilities always kept sparkling, and we do a lot of energy work with dogs, not just for the aqua fitness, but also for our grooming clients, our success ratio of a lot of dogs who are special needs dogs, as we like to call them, who have behavior issues or any kind of aggression issues. We've had a lot of success with those dogs for both the services that we provide, and animals, they're very different than human beings. They're very open, they're very accepting, they're very adaptive, and a little bit of love, a little bit of firmness, a little bit of your alpha does wonders with these dogs, and the change we see it's nothing short of miracles.
You mentioned special care dogs or dogs with special needs. I'm wondering, do you work with vets in your area? And how did you become a pet care specialist? What kind of, I know there's a lot of training involved. If you want to talk a little bit about that, we have people listening right now who are thinking about doing a pet care specialist certification local to where they live. I'm wondering if you would share a little bit about what that entails and if you do work with vets.
We do work with some vets in terms of our aqua fitness program that we offer to the dogs, and pet care specialists. So when you're working with animals, anybody who's looking into getting in this kind of service, first of all, no amount of education is going to give you what you need to work with animals. You either have it or you don't. It's the special touch.
Right.
It's a perfect blend, a perfect combination of your handling skills, your knowledge, your experience, your training, your temperament, and your patience that will help you a lot to work with animals no matter in what capacity you choose to work with them. So you can do your vet tech certification, you can do your grooming certification, you can do your dog walking certification or pet sitting certification, or you can do your animal massage certification, or it doesn't matter what you do, but it requires a little bit of everything. So anybody who is looking into getting into this business or this service, I would highly recommend to go out and work with different professionals offering different services for dogs, and then see for yourself what really appeals to you. A lot of times we have people who come to us and say, I want to be this or I want to be that, and we ask them why, and they say, because I love dogs. But that is not enough. That's only the beginning. What you really need is to go out there, work with professionals who are offering these services, and see what they do, how they do. Sometimes a lot of people will be put off with grooming, because although they love dogs, they do get grossed out with a lot of things you need to do when you're grooming dogs, and that's a sign of a no. Then you're not suited for that particular kind of service. Maybe you're more suited to be a dog walker, or maybe you're more suited to be a trainer. So go out there, work with different professionals, work in different capacities. When you're working with dogs, you need to bear a lot of things in mind. Your education never stops. You complete your certification. Doesn't matter what service you choose to be. That is only the beginning. Your education does not stop. You are going to go out there and work with dogs and study each dog, each individual animal that you work with, because no amount of education or classroom theories.
We may have dropped off.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, this is Chantal. I don't know what happened. I got cut off.
No, I think we got dropped. So,
yes.
Kellie, are you with us?
Yes, everybody got dropped off. I don't know what happened there. But, what you were saying is very true before everybody dropped off. No amount of education or classes that you take is really going to prepare you for everything you encounter when you're doing pet sitting or pet services or grooming or anything working with animals, because you're always going to encounter that one animal that is completely different than anything that you were ever taught.
It's not just that. It's every dog comes from a different family environment. They all have different ways of training their own dogs or not training them. And so every animal you work with is going to be your educator who will help you become a better professional.
That's a nice way to put it.
Absolutely.
So we're learning. We're forever learning, and they're the ones that are teaching us. And the what you mentioned too, what you just said about the non-training, that happens all the time. We think that all they need is a little bit of food and a little bit of love, and we don't train them. We don't bring out their specific breed qualities. We don't pay attention to what they like to do. You know, a walk is a walk. You walk them around, you walk them, and that's it. That's generally not enough. It's their walk. You know, I see people pulling and yanking and like on their phone, and they're hurrying through the walk. The dogs walk. We need to remember that it's their time out. There's one question I do have, and it's just from knowing dogs a little bit. The fact about not getting water in dogs' ears when they're in your pool. So how do you handle that situation if a dog is coming to you repeatedly? Say we have an overweight dog and they've signed up for classes, and you know it's going to take some time. Is there anything that you do for the animal in your procedure that protects them? I know the water protects their skin from any kind of irritation, but what do you do for the ears specifically? I'm curious about that.
So that's a great question. First of all, the way we swim the dogs plays a very, very important role in how we keep their heads up out of the water. Having said that, like I said, every dog is different, and not the same technique will work with every dog. So we do have ear protection bands that we put on the dog, so that I won't say it completely prevents water from going in, but it does prevent a lot of water from going in. And at the end of the session, we do dry off their ears and add special products so that if there's any moisture that has collected inside the ear canal, it dries off.
Wonderful.
So that does not mean that some dogs who are prone to ear infections will not have the problem, but a lot of pet parents will make a choice between what's more important. And so if the dog is in pain and needs the aqua therapy more than, they are more worried about that than protecting the ears, because for the ears they're absolutely able to go and get medication, which is going to help the ear. But, at that given point and time, they have to make a choice if the dog is prone to chronic ear infections.
Mm-hmm.
But from our end, we do absolute best to make sure that any moisture in the ear dries out with the products that we use, which are completely safe for dogs.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever let the owners in the pool with you during the procedure, during the process of their exercising?
We do not encourage that because when the dog is in the water with the therapist, with a trained therapist, the dog is focused on the therapist. Now, when parents decide to enter the water, then instead of focusing on their training or focusing on the swimming, they are more focused on what mommy or daddy is doing in the water. And if the dog is not used to swimming, then their wheels start turning in their heads as to how they can actually climb over mommy and make an escape.
Right. Okay. I imagine that would be your answer. How do I get out of here? Yeah, climb right over top of my mom. Wonderful.
So, pet parents, if they are in the water, they are more of a distraction to the dog. Now, we have a lot of people who will call us and ask us, my dog is petrified of strangers, and my dog will not go in the water without me. And we do have a lot of people who come up with all kinds of reasonings for them to be in the water, but they do a lot of good by being outside on the deck and actually encouraging the dog to swim towards them. When parents are outside and they are actually encouraging the dog, which is on the other end, to swim towards them, it helps the dog better. And we first thing we say to anyone who brings their dog to our facility for a swim is that they need to be calm. They need to be positive. They need to absolutely believe in aqua fitness for their dog to pick up on their energies and their faith to start benefiting from what we have to offer. These are the instructions we actually send to people when they first call us to bring their dog in. So them being outside, their presence, their calmness is what does 50% of the job for the dog.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any, like, really extreme success stories, like a really overweight dog that progressed really well, or something along those lines that would illustrate how important fitness is and how great aqua fitness is for a dog?
Absolutely. I can give you a few different examples of a few different dogs with different kinds of problems. We have a German pointer that has been swimming with us since last August, and he has managed to lose almost 23 pounds.
Wow.
Between August and now. And you know, you can read up all the stories and the posts that people put up on our Facebook page, and it just little things like you know, we took the dog to the park. We used to take the dog to the park and 10 balls, and he would be flat on the ground, wanting to go back home, did not want to play. But now, after losing 23 pounds, the dog did not want to stop playing for over an hour. So that's, you know, small things like these just help us keep going. I will share a story of Dragoon. Dragoon is a corgi. He is a dual grand champion, and this past winter, back in December, he was outside playing ball, and he slipped on ice. He fell. He hurt his spine. He almost lost use of both his hind legs, and he was dragging himself around. And his mommy took him for chiropractic treatments. And after his chiropractic treatments, she started bringing him to us for some water therapy. Now, corgis are not known to be swimmers, but with the help of a life jacket and determination of his mommy, he has. I'm so proud to tell you that not only has he regained use of both his hind legs, is walking fantastic, but recently his mommy posted a video on our Facebook page where she recorded his entire story from how he got how he was hurt and what his condition was to after his therapy, where he's now playing football, and he went on to win all his titles back. So he's more than a dual grand champion today.
That's awesome.
We also have a lot of dogs who come for just plain and simple fitness and fun. Dogs who are not able to go out in winter, they put on weight. By the time winter is done, you have medical bills piling up. So we believe in prevention is better than cure, and that's one of the reasons why we decided to open up the facility and offer swimming for dogs, is that Doesn't matter what the weather, doesn't matter what mood you are in. You don't want to go out, but half an hour of swim for your dog is going to help the dog remain active. It's going to help manage its weight. It's going to help with any kinds of mobility issues, with pain management. And end of the day, you're not going to have all the medical bills piling up. So by the time winter's done, your dog isn't fat, your dog isn't hurting in any way. You don't have big bills that you need to pay. We have Nico that swims with us. He's a red-bone coonhound, not known to be a swimming breed, but he tolerates water. He has come to terms with his twice a week, his mommy brings him for swimming, and he has come to terms with it, and he swims. And ever since he started swimming, she has been able to completely stop his pain medication. So, medications. I'm not huge on medications, and we all know the side effects that our pets have to suffer. Even we have to suffer with different kinds of medications, drugs that we take. So that's really great that just with simple half an hour of swimming, the dog has been taken off completely from his pain medication. I will share a story of two of our dogs that come for swimming. They suffer from degenerative myelopathy, and that is a progressive disease where it takes over their entire body gradually. So first it starts with losing mobility in their hind legs, and it just progresses. It progresses. But keeping them active is the key to prevent progression of a disease like that. And the only way they're able to remain active is in a weightless, impactless environment. And water is able to offer that. Water is a medium that will help them remain active, and at the same time, they will not be able to feel any kind of impact to any of their limbs. Plus, they become weightless. So even though these kind of dogs are not able to walk or move or use their limbs on land, and you will often see them dragging their hind legs, or they have the wheels, but they are able to use all four legs when they're in the water. So it just helps prevent muscle atrophy. It prevents wasting of muscle mass, so that if the muscles are strong, they are able to keep using them for as long as possible. So things like these that people need to bear in mind that yes, your dog is you can run your dog. You can run your dog for a mile or 2 or 5 miles every single day. At the end of a year or two, what's going to happen is they're pounding on their knees and joints. And certain breeds are prone to certain conditions like hip dysplasia or arthritis. And if you compare that to putting them in water, 15 minutes of swim time, like I said, is equivalent of them running for 5 miles. And it's not going to cause any kind of impact to any of their joints or limbs. And they are getting a full range of motion. They're using every single muscle in their body to swim without any kind of impact. So they're not just using their legs, but they're using their spine, they're using their neck, they're using their hips, they're using every single muscle in their body for that full range of motion that they're able to achieve in water, which is not possible on land. So different reasons why they come to us. And
I want to ask a question real quick. You mentioned, and we have a chat room open, and somebody just asked a question. What type of life vest do you use for the dog? She said you mentioned something, and she didn't catch it. So could you repeat that? And do you recommend that all dog owners use those when their dogs are swimming, regardless of whether they can swim or not?
It depends where the dogs are swimming. So there are different kinds of life jackets available in the market. You can look them up on Amazon. It has to be the right fit. So measure the dog properly and get the right fit. Now, it depends on where the dog is swimming. If your dog is going to be swimming in your pool, I would highly recommend that even if your dog is a great swimmer, it's a lab or it doesn't matter what the breed, and it is a great swimmer, but dogs do not have peripheral vision in water. So I will highly recommend any of those dogs swimming in their owner's pools that the owners put in some sort of a ramp where, and they show the dog how to get in and out of the water using the ramps instead of the steps. So even if by chance any of their dogs fall in or there's an accident, at least the dog knows how to get out of the water with or without a life vest. Now, if the dog is used to swimming in the lake, like we have a Labradoodle, Lady Jane, who comes swimming, she can go nonstop for 4 hours without touching the ground. And we would personally recommend that when your dogs are out there in the lake swimming, even if they are great as swimmers, if you have a life jacket, put it on if they're going on for longer periods of time, because there are a lot of things out there in the water. Say there's a boat that hits the dog, or God forbid, or it just scares the dog, and the dog is in shock even for the briefest moment, then at least the life vest will protect your dog to remain afloat, and by the time you're able to go out there and help your dog is not underwater, it still remains afloat. So depending on where your dog is swimming, if your dog is just on the beach going in and out, you don't really need a life vest. But yes, if you're on a boat, you're in deeper waters, and your dog, even if your dog does know how to swim, it's just a protective measure that you can add, so that doesn't matter what happens and things go wrong at any point of time. So a simple life vest would definitely help keep your dog safe. And of course the ramp, if it's your own pool, ramp is a must for dogs.
Chantel, as
Awesome.
a hydrotherapist for dogs, is there any scenario where you would have to refuse the dog coming to you? What type of conditions would be where you would say, no, I'm sorry, we can't help you? Have you ever had to say no before?
We have. Unfortunately, we have. Sometimes the animal will simply refuse that help, no matter what you do, and is not in a state to swim, or is so petrified that will have accidents in the water. And we have had to refuse a couple of clients, unfortunately, because when accidents happen in water, we have to completely empty the pool. We have to completely disinfect the whole place to make sure that it's safe for the other dogs that are going in, and also for us human beings that are going in the water. So unfortunately, some dogs who will absolutely refuse to accept the help that they're getting, and or are just absolutely petrified where they're having accidents, we've had to refuse them.
But it sounds like any other.
We come to terms that sometimes there's only so much you can do.
It sounds like any other situation, though, you're able to introduce them to the water, and it can help in a myriad of ways. I know I have. I'm going to be bringing one of my rescues to you. I have 2 rescues from Thailand, and Sugar has had something happen to one of her hind legs. I don't know what. She was a street dog. I'm not sure if anybody knows, but it is mangled, and she does walk with a limp, and it seems to have healed, but it seems almost like it's stunted, and there's no elbow in the back leg, if that makes any sense. It's just straight. So I'm very concerned as she gets older. She's a young girl now, but I'm concerned about arthritis. So I think that will definitely be seeing you in the future with Sugar for sure. It makes me feel good to know that I have that in the future for her, and we can anticipate that we'll be able to take her there and, maybe ease some of the discomfort. She runs like a superstar now, but as she gets older, it makes me feel good as a pet mom to know that I have a place to go where there are experts, and this facility that was designed specifically for them, and I'll be able to bring her there should she start to have pain.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It would help her. It would help her with mobility. It would help her with pain management, and and who knows? We see miracles every single day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As a pet owner, you can try. As a service provider, all we can do is try. And like I said, dogs are absolutely adaptive, open, accepting creatures, unlike human beings. They are more open and willing to accept the help that they get, and they actually do much better in therapy than we do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So do you ever have any fundraising events throughout the year that we need to be aware of and that we can help support? Do you have a specific one that comes up yearly?
Not yet, but yes, we are planning to have a fundraising event where we would like to raise funds to help those dogs who need the help, but there's no way that they can pay for it. So, shelter dogs or dogs in the system that are looking for homes, and they do need that help, but they don't have any means to get that sort of help. So, yes, we are planning one in the near future.
You're gonna make me cry, Kelly. We need to help Chantal with the funding for the shelter dogs and people who can't afford to take care of their babies. Oh my gosh, yeah. Animal Chatter we're specifically interested in gathering funds, and I don't think we've talked about this yet. It's kind of something that we're launching on a timely basis, but we're specifically interested in gathering funds and being able to donate to people that are in the industry, in the realm of helping animals, and we want to support financially. So, I don't know, Chantal, you're on the top of my list, that's for sure. And we're close. We're only about an hour apart from each other. So that's special to me, too, is that I can actually reach out and I can actually take a video camera perhaps one day and we can film something for you, and we can, I know you have a lot of videos on Facebook, but to really look into your eyes and to do an interview with you would be one of my shining moments, I think, this summer. So if you'd invite me, I will definitely be there. And,
absolutely. You are more than welcome. You are more than welcome to drop in with your pooches. We are always here. Come by, come meet with us, see what we are all about. A lot of times people will ask us, my dog doesn't really have any problems. Can we still swim our dogs? And, absolutely. Swimming is great. Swimming is great for dogs with or without any problems, So, absolutely. You or anybody else, you're more than welcome to drop in and meet with us anytime.
Excellent. I'm going to take you up on that for sure. Absolutely.
We have another person asking a question. They want to know how the size of your pool and how deep it is.
So the pool that we have right now, it's 9 by 20, and it's 5 feet deep. Now, it's interesting. A lot of people will ask us those questions, and some of them will just make up their own minds that, no, it's not big enough for my dog. But people do not know that the bigger the pool, the more maintenance is involved, the more hygiene concerns come up. So dogs don't really need an Olympic-sized pool to swim. Dogs need proper trainers who will make them swim. Doesn't matter whether the pool is 5 feet long or 10 feet long or 20 feet long. So it's the techniques that will help the dog swim. And the reason why most water therapists, canine water therapists, will keep their pools at a maximum of 20 is because it's easy to maintain. Otherwise, the costs involved are just phenomenal, just absolutely phenomenal. And our aim here from the get-go has been to offer swimming service where the cost itself will not put the pet owners, not put them off. I personally would not want to pay $60, $70 to swim my dog for half an hour. And if it was at a reasonable level where I would think, hey, I spend that much on my coffee, I can take my dog swimming and keep it at a level where, and from the get-go, this hasn't been a money-making business for us. If somebody, a business person, would sit down and do the math, they would tell me I'm crazy to be running this at these prices. But my grooming supports it, and we are just happy to be able to help dogs in need and charge a fee which will just help us maintain the facilities and the work, the energy, and the products involved in making sure it is a sanitary place for dogs. So the size of the pool doesn't really matter. We have 9 by 20, and it's 5 feet deep. And we have you can actually take a look at the videos we have on the Facebook page, where I have a video of a big 180-pound Irish wolfhound that is actually taller than I am, swimming in the pool, and he absolutely enjoys it. So, this is the maximum that any water therapist will operate. Now, there are big pools out there, community pools for dogs, but in terms of hygiene levels, I'm not sure how they maintain those. But to make sure that we are able to offer an affordable service and it's a safe water body for the dogs to go in, this is what is recommended by industry standards.
Wonderful. We have about 5 minutes left, and we have one more question here. She says, what was your biggest challenge to doing your business, and is there anything that you would have done differently?
The biggest challenge was to find someone who would actually work with me and not call me crazy to put a pool in for dogs and wanting to spend all that money for dogs. So that was one of the biggest challenges. When we found the right people to work hand in hand with us, it was just a smooth sailing. where there's a will, there's a way. And we, like I said, it took us 4+ years to get this project up and going, and we've never looked back.
Is there anything you would have done differently?
No, actually not.
Perfect.
That's great. I just wanted to give you an opportunity. I keep saying your husband. I'm almost positive that your husband has a name. So, and since he's a part of your company, if you'd kind of just like to give him a shout out, I'd feel better about that.
So Indy is the one you see on the videos working with the dogs.
Okay, great.
And yeah, I let him be in the water to get his skin shriveled and. He doesn't mind doing all the hard work.
Well, he's in a spa environment. How hard can it be? You know what I mean?
After being in the water from 9 in the morning until 7. No, but he loves it. He loves it too. Every evening when we have a talk and we go through the dogs that have come through the day and we have the success stories and we have sometimes the older dogs that swim with us, and you see them turning into puppies. You see these dogs who at an age they're not able to walk, but being in water, being weightless in water, they're once again able to play their game of fetch that they lost hope they would ever be able to do that. These little things, it just gives both of us, and he keeps telling me, this was the best thing that ever happened to him in life, and it's like finding a purpose, what you were meant to do on this earth.
Okay, now you are making me cry. I'm such a big fan. Gosh. I can't speak.
We are running out of time. So if you would like to tell everyone how they can find you, if they want more information or if they just want to find out more about aquatherapy, we have just about a minute left.
So you can look us up on b2spetservices.com. We also have a Facebook page for B2's Pet Services, or anybody is more than welcome to call us any time of the day or night. You can reach us on our cell phone, 416-414-7556. We are available to you 24/7.
Beautiful. And that's b2spetservices.com. So that's B-I-T-U-S. Yeah.
P-E-T-S. Yes, B-I-T-U-S, petservices.com.
Perfect.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us today. Sorry about the technical difficulties. That's what happens when you do a live show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you, everyone listening and the people who sent in questions. We appreciate it. Please share the show link and have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Bye, guys.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
At Boar's Head, we place a premium on authenticity, and the home-roasted flavor of our Ever-Roast chicken is no exception. Inspired by a medley of ingredients from the garden, a family recipe, and slow-roasted craft. It's the authentic taste of home and the unmatched quality of Boar's Head. Ever-Roast chicken, sliced fresh at the deli, only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere. At Boar's Head, we place a premium on authenticity, and the home-roasted flavor of our Ever-Roast chicken is no exception. Inspired by a medley of ingredients from the garden, a family recipe, and slow-roasted craft. It's the authentic taste of home and the unmatched quality of Boar's Head. Ever roast chicken, sliced fresh at the deli, only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.